welcome back to another Dark Souls 3 build idea. This time I'm dealing with your regular knight build. I like to call it the broken knight build because I occasionally use the broken straight swords, which halfway through trying to get multiple fights of me fighting with it did not turn out too well. This terrible range and the very small amount of damage just made it kind of useless to use. So the first weapon you're seeing here is the Bastard Sword, and I use that over the Claymore Sword just because I thought to try something new. I know the Claymore Sword, can't pronounce things, is longer, and I think it even has a better moveset. I just like to use weapons no one else uses that much. The Bastard Sword just seems funner to use to me. Definitely does less damage with this build by a small amount, and has the moveset's all on how you use it, in my opinion. Not every moveset is better, particularly better than one than the other. There are some movesets that are clearly better than others, especially for stuff like the spear category, which you'll see later in the video. I use a pike, which is not good compared to something like the Champion's Glaive. I think it's called Glaive, one of the two. But this build is pretty fun. I actually like this build. Definitely one of my weaker builds, as in you will not be pulling off 3v1 ganks banks. You won't be doing massive amounts of damage, and you definitely won't be hitting multiple opponents with a weapon. Like, my weapons are very small or narrow. You do got the great sword I use in later in the video, and that's still a very narrow swinging ultra great sword. Most of these fights are particularly fights I like to show were me actually using the build in some way. Like here, the straight sword is used for more intimidation instead of actually, hitting them. And this one ends in a draw, which I particularly liked as well. I don't think I ever got a draw before. But straight sword just tells people you have a fast swinging weapon, and when you have it out, you might use it, but you never will because it sucks ass. And here is where I realize one of my faults in how I play is I use jumping attacks a lot to chase after rolls when it leaves me open to major amounts of backstabs, and it really might end up being a do or die thing for me if I just mess one up and I get backstabbed. This dude is... I see this armor a lot. Like, a lot. This whole... I think it's... Is it like Patches in Disguise or some character in the Ring City DLC that's kind of reminds you of Patches at first. And he seems to have, like... Everyone uses his armor. I don't know if it has the most poise, the most damage absorption, or what. But a lot of people really like using it. Along with that shield. Actually, no, it's not that shield. It's another shield later in the video. But he just gave up because he missed his parry and then got parried. One of the most demoralizing things I can think of. Kirk's armor to finish him off. Here's the denial people, This dude is one of those people who like to run around in circles, confuse you. Just run right out of the reach of your weapon so he can get a quick 1-2 with his very fast weapon. Right now, I'm just trying to bait. I'm trying to bait his bait. That's basically what I'm trying to do. It's the only way I like fighting against people like this is trading baits or just parrying them outright because they like to run really fast. They like to be Sonic. They like to run in circles and bait baits. It's all about knowing your footing, how fast you recover from your animations. And he also tries to like run around me and backstab me immediately, which with this weapon he swings horizontally, you really can't do. That's only meant for like horizontal. No, it's vertical weapons. Right here, I think is where I bait him just right. He just thinks I'm gonna double swing, baited, and then one-shotted. He was not one of the fun player to fight. Just running around circles. You know how they are. They backstab, they throw stuff at you, wait for you to get close to them, then they run away again, just so you're out of reach. This is where I messed up. I need to learn how mechanics in this game work and the weapon art because I thought I was going to do a spin thing and knock both of them off. Luckily, I at least separate the Phantom and leave the host by himself, which I was planning on to finish off quickly before the Phantom got up here. But I'm not good at finishing off people right now. I need to learn how to really just... I don't know if it's the weapons I'm using, or maybe it's the way I approach them to make them cautious and roll a lot. But it really does bug me that I wasn't able to finish him off before the Phantom came. But luckily, the Phantom was just as bad as I am sometimes, and was completely useless, especially when he gets bonked by this guy. You'll see him get bonked. There he is. He's gonna get bonked straight on the ground. And on the ground, he probably hit R1 once, and this game likes to save all your inputs. So when he got up, he started R1ing, which just led me to bonk him on the head again until he died. This is where I was worried, because I'm like, okay, this dude's by himself. I have 4 Estus. He's got probably at least 11. He looks like he ran through the map. He's been using a couple, but luckily, he just gets destroyed by an NPC. Dark Souls 2, one of the best NPCs, just destroy him. I'm including a lot more ganks instead of duels on here, because I find the ganks more fun if I actually win them, which most of the time I do not. You will not win most of the ganks. I switched to my rapier because I noticed that they're really all using short weapons, and Ultra Great Sword, I'll just get hit 4 to 5 times during my animation and die. My buddy's in trouble, so I'm trying to help him before he dies. Luckily, I identify the host as this guy. He's always, in the back. He's not fighting as much, because if he dies, it's over. GG. I should have went for a parry without running away, because I knew what he was gonna do. This guy gets parried, and I just realized that dude lives. Like, that summon lives. I thought he would have died, to be honest, but he lives. And I almost get the host here. I proc his tears. But sadly, I am too focused on switching to my throwing knives, I didn't see he already healed, which could have led to a backstab. Ganking's all about reducing the amount of errors you make and the times you get hit. Getting chased down by 3 people. 2 now, and then finally the third person comes up, so it's a 3v3 instead of 3v2. I really like that shield he has, one that spits flames. I need to actually get that myself. I don't know where to get it, to be honest. I'll figure it out later. Save my friend from being damaged. And then finally we have a one-on-one with the host. I do go for a parry here. I don't know why I didn't parry. That would have been the end of the match, even if I attacked him with just my sword. Getting backstabbed almost. Like, luckily he used his dagger. If he used any other weapon, he would have killed me. I parry him here. Get a good nice riposte. Not enough to kill him, sadly. But luckily, they kill the host somehow. I think the giant actually kills him. OP giant, am I right? And this guy starts flying in the air. That's all we deserve, really. This invasion is the few invasions where I felt proud to actually fight 2 people at once. I wouldn't consider it a gank spank because it's not a 3v1. It's more like 2v1 duel. Like, I can handle it usually. I get a lucky pair early. This basically guarantees my win. I'm very confident fighting as an invader against hosts that in 1v1 because they're not as trained and equipped as duels. But this is a prime example of me not being able to chase down my opponent because I get him pretty low and then he just starts running away, backpedaling, and I have nothing to actually kill him with because I just keep missing. The weapons I use to chase are either the rapier or the pike, because the rapier doesn't go with the build that much, but you need like a fast weapon sometimes. And the pike, I try to go with the build, and it just didn't seem to do what I needed to do to kill people. Didn't do that much damage either, to be honest. I think that's why the Champion's Cleave is like one of the best, because its last hit is a super strong attack compared to the pike when it's really not that strong. And I never used a weapon art. Maybe a weapon art would have chased him down better. It is a pretty shitty staircase too. And luckily, for some reason he didn't heal here, and he swings, and my pike with my extended range just destroy him. This last 1v2, not a gank really. Like I said, 3v1 is more of a gank, in my opinion. He almost dies immediately from, I think, a phantom hit by me, which tells me my connection isn't that great with this dude. Again, he gets low HP and I can't finish him off. I think it is a little bit of a connection here the more I look at it. But honestly, I just can't hit this dude. Even if the connection was better, I'm pretty sure I would have missed a lot more. I probably should have not used Blackfire Bombs. I just need to get closer and do damage when he heals. And for some reason, I'm not bad at dodging these lightning bow faith build thing. For some reason, I just could not dodge it. Like, I don't know, maybe it just came out a lot faster than I think it does. When I used it, I felt like I had a huge startup delay. And you could just run or walk past it when people used it. Like, I used it against them. They just, like, ran or walked past it. But, no, it luckily doesn't use that much right now. And he ends up switching to a different spell. A reverse roll backstab. I missed again. I fucked it up. I didn't even miss it. I fucked it up. Tries to use some bleeding spell, I think is what that is. And luckily, Phantom damage just doesn't exist for that thing. You know, it hit me, but it didn't do any damage. I assume on his screen it went past me. Or maybe it even didn't, and he's raging as well. I deserve to die there, but I'm just going to take advantage of the situation and make sure that this guy doesn't trade with me every time I try to attack him. That's why I'm using the greatsword as well. I need to learn the range of rolling attacks with some swords, because I definitely could have gotten 2 good hits in when he did a rolling attack. Also, I think you can parry those. Another backstab, reverse roll backstab, I failed. I'm still learning the technique and actually not learning it. I've been practicing it pretty well. I just can't do it in actual combat. A little bit more, you know, you have to like put your mind, you have to repeatedly do it even though you don't want to put your mind in that mindset that you can do it, and it's a possible feat right now. Same thing with parrying and switching weapons. I parry all the time. I try to switch my weapons, and I either fail, which means I'm learning, and I can, you know, do it in under stressful situations more often, or I don't do it, and I'm just wasting my time even learning the new technique of parry swaps. But luckily, in a few seconds, I get the backstab I need right there, and it doesn't kill him. With my Chaos Dagger, probably would have killed him. And I get the last hit after a rolling attack, which ends this video. I want to thank y'all for watching. I'll show the stats in a Welcome to the stats and build portion of this video. I just want to show you what I use. I think one of the things I would have changed is have Tears of the Denial on here. I have a Blessed Cestus that really should be changed to a simple one if I want to get FP regen in it. The Broken Straight Swords really weren't useful in this build at all, mostly for the aesthetic. Change that to a simple gem, I think is what it's called, for FP regen. Chaos Dagger for parries, riposte, backstabs, all that type stuff. Great Sword just for the finesse, and I guess it handles ganks a lot better sometimes. Rapier for the catch of the rolls, and Pike to chase down enemies if you really need to. Like multiple, I need to remaster almost some of my builds already. I feel like this is definitely the one that could be optimized a lot better. And the Storm King could also be optimized better, I think. Actually, no, I think I optimized that one perfectly, or nearly perfect for what I was trying to use. But this one needed some work, especially since this character has the cat ring with it, and my other characters didn't. I needed to go back to a whole new game just to get this ring, which is hard to do, but I got there. And that pretty much ends the portion of this build. I want to thank y'all for watching, and the next build will be a pyro build.